By the time this video ends, I'm going to hand you a specific 5-step asset blueprint to not just survive, but capitalize on the economic anomaly hitting us in 2026. I'm not selling a course, and I'm not telling you to buy a bunker. I'm showing you the math that Wall Street is terrified you'll actually understand. Let's be real for a second. You feel it, don't you? That low-level hum of anxiety when you swipe your card at the grocery store. You look at the news and the S&P 500 is hitting all-time highs, GDP is ostensibly growing, and the unemployment rate looks manageable on paper. Yet, your bank account feels like it has a slow leak. You are working harder, optimized to the gills, side hustling, investing, and yet the goalpost isn't just moving. It's being disassembled and rebuilt in a different stadium. This isn't all in your head. You are sensing the tremors of what I'm calling the invisible recession of 2026. I know. Recession is a scary word that gets thrown around for clicks. I get the skepticism. You've heard the doom mongers predicting a crash every Tuesday since 2012. If you listened to them, you stayed in cash and got inflated into poverty. I'm not asking you to be a bear. I'm asking you to be a realist. The crash isn't coming in the form of a red arrow going down on a stock chart. That's the old way. The new crash is invisible. It's nominal gains masking real losses. It's seeing your portfolio go up by 8% while your purchasing power drops by 12%. So why 2026? Why is that the year the math breaks? We have to look at the refinancing wall. Back in 2020 and 2021, when money was free and interest rates were at zero, corporations and governments loaded up on cheap debt. Trillions of it. That debt usually has a 5-year maturity. Do the math. 2025 and 26 are when the bill comes due. These companies have to refinance that debt, but they aren't refinancing at 0% anymore. They're refinancing at 4, 5, or 6%. That is a massive capital squeeze. It means layoffs, it means slashed budgets, and it means the easy growth era is officially dead. Combine that with the AI disruption cycle hitting its stride, where white-collar efficiency replaces entry-level jobs, and you have an economy that looks great for the shareholders, but terrible for the wage earners. That is the invisible recession. The GDP goes up because of efficiency. Your quality of life goes down because of irrelevance. So how do we skepticism-proof your portfolio? How do we build a moat around your wealth so that when 2026 hits, you aren't just holding a bag of depreciating currency? We need assets that operate outside of this debt trap system. We need 5 specific plays. Asset number 1, the chaos hedge. And I'm talking about Bitcoin and gold. Hold on, put the pitchforks down. I am not a crypto bro telling you to buy meme coins, and I'm not a gold telling you to hoard bullion in your basement. We need to look at this dispassionately. We are entering a period of fiscal dominance, which is a fancy way of saying the government has to print money to pay the interest on its own debt. When they print, your dollars dilute. Bitcoin and gold are the only 2 assets that are outside of the financial system's liability column. A stock is a claim on a company's earnings. A bond is a claim on a government's taxes. Bitcoin and gold are claims on nothing. They are bearer assets. In 2026, when liquidity is injected into the market to stop that refinancing wall from crushing the economy, that new money has to go somewhere. Historically, it flows into hard assets first. You don't own these to get rich quick. You own them to opt out of the debasement of the currency. Treat it as insurance, not a lottery ticket. An allocation of 5 to 10% prevents you from getting wiped out if the printer goes into overdrive. Asset number 2. Productive, energy-intensive commodities. Look at the trend of the next decade. Everything we are building, AI data centers, electric vehicle grids, automated manufacturing, is wildly energy hungry. AI isn't just code, it's electricity. A single AI query uses 10 times the power of a Google search. We are moving from an era of digital abstraction back to physical reality. The invisible recession will crush consumer discretionary spending. People will buy fewer designer clothes and fewer overpriced lattes. But the grid must stay on. Data centers must be cooled. I want you to look at broad commodities ETFs, or companies that specialize in the picks and shovels of energy. Copper, uranium, and natural gas. In 2026, even if the economy slows down, the structural demand for electrification isn't going away. If anything, it accelerates as companies use robots to cut costs. Robots need power. Owning the inputs of the future economy is the safest bet you can make. When the tech stocks are trading at 50 times earnings and looking shaky, a boring copper miner paying a dividend is going to look like a lifeboat. Asset number 3, unfinancialized real estate. I'm going to be very specific here because buy real estate is lazy advice. In 2026, commercial real estate in city centers is going to be a bloodbath. With remote work and AI efficiency, we simply do not need that many office towers. Do not touch them. Instead, I want you to look at what I call productive land. Farmland, timberland, or residential properties in areas with their own energy or food independence. The invisible recession hits urban centers the hardest because that's where the cost of living disconnect is most violent. The shift we are seeing is a migration to value. People are leaving high tax, high regulation zones for places where their dollar actually buys a life. If you can own a rental property or land in a region that produces food or energy, you have a tangible asset that cannot be printed away. It's not about appreciation, it's about yield. In an inflationary environment, your mortgage debt gets inflated away while the asset price rises. It is the one time the system is rigged in your favor, but only if you buy the right type of dirt. Asset number 4, short duration yield, or dry powder. This sounds boring, but hear me out. Cash is trash, right? That's what they tell you. But cash is also optionality. When the refinancing wall hits in 2026, there are going to be liquidity crunches. Good companies, good assets, and good opportunities are going to be sold for pennies on the dollar because someone over-leveraged needs to cover a margin call. If you are fully invested, every single dollar locked up in stocks or crypto, you cannot participate in the sale of the century. You are a spectator. I want you to keep a portion of your wealth in short-term government treasuries or high-yield savings accounts. Right now, they are paying decent interest. It's not about the return on capital, it's about the return of your capital when you need it. Think of this as your ammunition fund. When the headlines are screaming recession and everyone is panic selling, you are the one stepping in with calm, collected capital to buy their fear. The person with liquidity in a crisis is the king. Do not underestimate the power of boring liquid cash equivalents in a volatile market. Asset number 5, the anti-fragile skill stack. This is the one nobody wants to talk about because you can't buy it on an app. You can't trade it, but it is the single greatest hedge against 2026. We are entering a labor market bifurcation. AI is going to commoditize average work. If your job involves staring at a spreadsheet, summarizing emails, or basic coding, you are in the blast radius. The invisible recession will see high unemployment for white-collar workers, while blue-collar trades and high-level strategic thinkers thrive. You need to invest time, aggressively, in skills that are anti-fragile. What does that mean? It means skills that gain value when things get chaotic. High-level sales and persuasion, because humans still need to be sold to by humans. Specialized manual trade skills that robots can't do yet. Or deep-level strategic thinking that connects dots AI cannot see. Your ability to generate income is your primary asset. If your portfolio goes up 20%, but you lose your income stream, you are losing. You need to become the person who solves the problems that the robots create. Stop learning how to be a cog in a machine and start learning how to build the machine, or fix the machine, or sell the machine. That is the only job security left. Here is the narrative thread that ties these 5 assets together. Autonomy. The invisible recession is fundamentally a crisis of dependency. Those who are dependent on the government for stimulus, dependent on a single employer for a paycheck, or dependent on the standard 60-40 stock portfolio for retirement, are going to get squeezed. They are the ones who will feel the inflation while the news tells them the economy is booming. By allocating into chaos hedges like Bitcoin, physical realities like energy, productive land, liquid cash for opportunities, and your own skill stack, you are declaring independence. You're moving from being a passenger on a sinking ship to being the captain of your own life raft. I'm telling you this as a peer, not a guru. I'm navigating this right alongside you. I look at my own portfolio every month and I ask myself, if the system breaks in 2026, do I still own this? If the answer is no, if the asset relies on a functioning, high-trust banking system to have any value, I start to trim it. We have a window of opportunity right now. We are in the eye of the storm. The rates have hiked, the pain hasn't fully hit, and the markets are complacent. This is the quiet before the refinancing cliff. Most people are asleep at the wheel, lulled into a false sense of security by a stock market that is being propped up by a handful of tech giants. Don't be like them. Be the skeptic. Be the strategist. You don't need to hit a home run. You don't need to find the next 100x crypto gem. You just need to not strike out. You need to survive the wealth transfer so you can be on the receiving end of it. The invisible recession is coming for the unprepared. It's coming for the people who think 2019 is coming back. It's not. 2026 is a new game with new rules. The debt is real, the inflation is sticky, and the technological displacement is exponential. Take a look at your balance sheet tonight, not just the numbers, but what they represent. Ask yourself, is this fragile? If it is, you know what to do. I want us to build a community here that actually thinks critically. Drop a comment below with one asset class you think is safer than the stock market right now. Let's debate it. Let's stress test our ideas against each other. Because the only way we get through 2026 with our wealth intact is if we stop trusting the headlines and start trusting the math. Stay skeptical, stay prepared, and I'll see you in the comments.